morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here and for everybody sitting in the same corner of the room. That's very nice to see. Today, we welcome Boo Hagerty from Hamot Health Foundation to share details about the return of the Remote Area Medical, or RAM, clinic that will offer free dental, vision, and medical services on Saturday, September 13th, and Sunday, September 14th, at the Erie Center for Arts and Technology, that's ECAT for short, located at 650 East Avenue. Last year, which was the first year the clinic served 310 patients and provided 101 pairs of eyeglasses made on-site and administered 111 dental x-rays and 126 tooth extractions. Together, the 139 practitioners and students volunteered, helped along by another 319 unique volunteers. They provided $179,006 worth of service, all at no cost to the residents. The health and the well-being of the citizens of Erie is of utmost importance. Hamot Health Foundation continues to address healthcare equity and is doing amazing work in our community. Here to tell us more about the free RAM clinic is Boo Hagerty. Boo, of course, is the president of the Hamot Health Foundation. Boo, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great to see you. Good morning. I love being here. In these chambers, I'm going to turn around to him a lot because this is really an ode to Joe today. Because I'm wearing, and I've told you about this before, the cufflinks of my grandfather, who did 10 consecutive terms as city treasurer. And in his last inauguration in 1972, I stood here as a school kid, and he said, "You're going to get these cufflinks someday because I have the same initials he does, CFH. My real name is actually Charles." So it's great to stand in the same spot he was inaugurated for the 10th time, to wear his cufflinks. And I think a lot about him because as city treasurer, he was one of the first city treasurers in the state to work with his neighbors and the neighbors in the city of Erie to help payment plans for people to pay their taxes. I remember him saying, "I don't want to own their homes. I want them to own their homes. And if we have to work with them to get their real estate taxes paid, we will work with them." So I think about that, and I think about the fact that I am so lucky now, all these years later, 53, I think is the math, that I get to stand here and talk about something that is really serving the community that he served for his entire time. So to talk about RAM, I think I have to just take you all just a step back for a second and remind you, and I don't think any of you need reminders, when the mayor and his administrative team led the Summer of Hope in 2018, which came to where Love Your Block goes, and just really a love that we all have of this great city that we're in. But that Summer of Hope in 2018, you all knocked on doors of the very neighbors that we're going to be able to serve in a couple of weeks and that we are serving now. And I think it's important to note that no one does anything alone. And the city of Erie has always been very collaborative, especially under Mayor Schember's administration, to make sure we work together on this. So that following summer, we did what's called the Count Me In survey. And the Count Me In survey was taking it to the next level. And what we did is we hired the neighbors and hired them as surveyors for the entire summer. And now all of a sudden the neighbors who are used to having their doors knocked on were a little bit more comfortable telling their neighbors what they were looking for, maybe even more than they were comfortable telling us. And we got a wealth of information that year. And really what it kind of informed us was we want trusted access to healthcare. And that word trust really resonated with us who have been in healthcare all our careers, to say, what are we not doing to build the trust? And what do we need to do to build the trust? They wanted trusted access to healthcare. They wanted to be able to advance their education and find a better job. And they wanted their neighborhood reinvested in. Those are some of the top things that came out. That led the Hamot Health Foundation and a number of great partners to buy the Wayne School at 650 East Avenue. So if we hadn't done that, I don't know that we'd have the fortitude to bring a RAM in. So in doing so, I'm happy to tell you that 4 years since the ribbon cutting, and you were standing there with us, Joe, 4 years since the ribbon cutting, over 350 people have graduated with some certificate or degree program in that school. Hundreds of people are being served monthly at Wayne Primary Care, run by Primary Health Network. And the United Way has their hub office in there for the Community Schools Initiative. Our School of Nursing for UPMC is in the 3rd floor. That building is full and growing, and we'll be talking maybe at another mayor's conference. Prayer conference might be better, at the mayor's conference, because we want to grow that campus, and we'll be talking to the city about our plans to grow that campus. But all of that led to, we're checking some boxes for the neighbors, but we're not checking all of them. Since then, Meds continues to invest in that neighborhood. Since then, Primary Health Network continues to invest in that neighborhood. And since then, Community Health Net continues to invest in that neighborhood. So trusted access is growing. The difference between our offices being set up between Hamot, St. Vincent, LECOM, and our FQHCs is that there's still a population of people that still aren't quite sure that medical home belongs to them. So for that reason, pop-up clinics are a great next step to build that trust. And that's exactly what remote area medical is. RAM for short. They started in the mid-'80s to really start to bring pop-up clinics into neighborhoods in which they're invited. So the Hamot Health Foundation will serve as the community host group, and we invited RAM to come in and say, bring your clinic here. We will get the volunteers. We will get the people to serve. You bring your best practice. So on September 12th, Friday morning, a big truck is going to roll in here. I've never seen one bigger. It is huge. It's 2 levels. I didn't know trucks have 2 stories on them. And they will unload all their dental equipment, all their medical equipment. They will have all the instruments needed. They will have all the antibiotics that people are going to be walking away with. They're a pharmacy. They're a vision center. They're a dental office. They're a medical office in this big truck. What we're happy to be able to do at Hamot Health Foundation is be that host group to bring them into town. As Mayor Schember said, we served over 300 people last year, and they could not have been happier. 2 stories that just resonate with me on that weekend. And I've been in healthcare 25 years. I've been in my career in this community for 42 years, I guess now. And I can't think of a better weekend I've had in a long time being part of a volunteer corps that weekend. One young man came out, and he was probably in his mid-20s. He's wearing a pair of glasses. And what we do for vision is make the glasses on site. So you get your eye appointment, you bring your prescription, and the glasses are made in that big truck. And he said to me, I'll never forget it, I never realized how beautiful the world is because I haven't seen it this way in my life. So he, for the first time in his life in the mid-20s, had 20/20 vision. And that was wonderful. Another gentleman who had 2 abscessed teeth, who could not get to a dentist, had those teeth pulled, went home with his antibiotics, had those teeth pulled. The next day showed up to volunteer because he felt like he should give something back. I don't know about you, but a day after 2 teeth pulled, I'm probably not leaving the house. He came to volunteer. So the stories were endless that weekend. And when you try something, and we tried it, you don't know if it's going to be successful or a failure. Well, it was a success, so we invited RAM back, and they are coming back, as the mayor said. So starting at midnight on September 12th, rolling into 13th, the parking lot at East Middle School will open up, and it's a first-come, first-served basis, and people can come as early as midnight, check in, stay in their car. We'll open the doors about 5 or 6 a.m., but we will start registering people as early as midnight the morning before. At 6 a.m., officially the doors open. We have over 300 volunteers in the medical field, in the dental field, and in the vision field. At this point right now, we do not have optometrists or ophthalmologists who have volunteered, so we may not be able to do vision screening, but we'll be very happy to make glasses for anyone with a prescription. From the dental standpoint, we are so lucky to be partnering with LECOM. They will bring their dental students all day Saturday. So lucky to be working with the Pitt Dental School. They will bring their students all day Sunday. All total, 42 dentists with the students and their proctors being with them. And we will, fillings, extractions, cleanings, whatever it takes to make sure these people are in good shape. And from the medical side, everyone will be able to get a physical. And in that physical last year, about 45 people were referred out Monday morning to a different specialist around town. We discovered one gentleman with melanoma, and he had no idea he had it. And he was with a surgeon that Monday, because the next thing is access to that care. About the trust, no one is required to give us their name, and no one is required to give us any information other than we're ready to serve you right now. What happened last year is they were so trusting of us that we did get names and we did get information, and we've connected those folks to medical homes. We've connected them to special services. So we're able to do that because of the amazing volunteers who meet these folks where they want to be met. Remember this, we're in a neighborhood that has as much as a 24-year life expectancy gap from neighboring neighborhoods. So those folks, our neighbors right here, are not getting the same care that all of us in this room are blessed to get. And we want to bring that, and that's what this pop-up clinic will do. We cannot do it without volunteers. So at the end of the day, tomorrow is when the volunteer sign-ups end, and it is, oh gosh, I'm supposed to remember that website, but it's RAM. I love you, Catherine. RAM USA /volunteer, and people can volunteer. But we are doing great with volunteers. If you're an optometrist, please call me. We'd love to have you as well. The other thing that's vitally important is all the partners we have. Serve Erie will be there to provide meals for all the volunteers, and Serve Erie is an incredible partner in this. The UPMC Health Plan, another terrific partner, their neighborhood center opened at 803 East Avenue a couple of weeks ago. That neighborhood center will be open from 10 to 3 on Saturday. About 16 different nonprofits will be there to really share information that they have with the community, and we're going to feed them this year. So we'll have hot dogs and whatever else we'll have. I'll probably go to Sam's and just load up the trunk and just have a bunch of food for everyone as well. So we're happy about the UPMC Health Plan. Erie Bank, who I think everyone knows, has just had their own great event last Saturday at their new office on Parade Street. Erie Bank is our major sponsor this year, and we could not be more happy to have Erie Bank as part of this with us. And we made RAM our Erie Gives kind of theme this year. So on Erie Gives Day, we raised the majority of the money that we need to really put this on. So we have volunteers coming from all over the country. But the good news is 86% of the people that we served last year were Erie residents, and we're very, very happy about that. So with that, we really appreciate you, Mayor Schember, and your entire team for allowing us to really get the media kickoff going. The most important thing we need the residents of City of Erie, and especially in the neighborhood over at 650 East Avenue, to come join us that day, and we promise you just incredible quality care at the highest levels with your privacy and respect for you at the utmost top of our priority list. So with that, I thank you all for allowing us these few minutes. And if you're available September 13th or September 14th, even if not a volunteer, come by and just see that truck, because it's amazing, and just see the action. Last year, sidebar, I was charged at the end to clean the dental equipment. I did my best. So we will see. But very, very happy to take any questions. But that's our report for today. So thank you.
Boo, thank you very, very much. I'm very impressed with that, and thank you for letting everyone know about this free clinic that's coming up. This is a great opportunity for residents in need of Medicare. I encourage anyone who needs assistance to take advantage of this real opportunity. Next, I want to reflect our annual commemoration of Labor Day, which is Monday, September 1st, this coming Monday. On this day, we recognize the historical importance of the workers' rights movement, and all of our country what we owe them. The law that established the first National Labor Day on the first Monday in September was passed by Congress on June 28, 1894. and signed by President Grover Cleveland. American labor has raised our nation's standard of living and contributed to the greatest production the world has ever known. Thanks to the labor movement, we are able to enjoy the 5-day, 40-hour work week, the weekend, the 8-hour workday, paid holidays, paid vacations, sick time, the end of child labor, the creation of minimum wage, unemployment insurance, collective bargaining, and safe working conditions. Here in Erie, Monday's annual Labor Day Parade will start at 10 at 10th and State and proceed north to its finish right at Perry Square. The parade is sponsored by the Great Lakes Building and Construction Trades Council. It features members of local organized labor, high school marching bands, floats, more. And I will be in the parade also, and I encourage all our residents to come, line State Street, and show their support for workers' rights here in Erie. As a reminder, Erie City Hall will be closed on Labor Day this coming Monday so that everyone can celebrate the holiday. We have had a great summer in Erie. People from all over the region visited our Celebrate Erie, and 6 weeks of our Sounds of Summer and 6 weeks of 814 concert series were all well attended, and I'm amazed how fast that 6 weeks went by. The summer recreation program provided our young people with many opportunities to be creative and participate in physical activities. The Police Athletic League also held its annual summer camps, which fostered great relationships between our youth and our police officers, and we usually had their last meeting here to provide things to the people of 25 or 30 or so people that were involved with that. They're all younger kids. The last 2 weeks were particularly busy between Celebrate Erie and Firefighters Challenge, Tall Ships, and Zabawa. And I think most of us can attest to that. That was really something. We received great feedback from the Firefighters Challenge and from Tall Ships, both of which could return here to Erie soon. I want to thank all of our city employees, interns, community partners who work together to make these programs and events so very successful. I congratulate all of you on the job well done. I also want to remind everyone to please drive safely, especially with our children now back to school. To ensure that our children get to and from school safely, please remember to slow down in designated school zones and never drive around a school bus that has its red lights flashing on and has the stop arm in the up position. Motorists must stop at least 10 feet away from school buses that have their red lights flashing and stop arm activated. Motorists must stop when they are behind a bus, meeting the bus, or approaching an intersection where the bus is stopped. Motorists following or traveling alongside a school bus must also stop until the red lights have stopped flashing and the stop arm is withdrawn. And all children make sure they have reached safely. If physical barriers such as grassy medians, guide rails, or concrete median barriers separate oncoming traffic from the bus, the motorist in the opposing lane may proceed without stopping them. So let's work together to do our part to keep Erie's children safe. That concludes today's press conference. Please continue to follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything happening here in the city of Erie. Boo and I are both available for interviews if needed, and thank you for watching or being here. Thank you very much.